Retain, Value, Promote. A case for supportive women working in nonprofit arts administration. My name is Hannah Church. I use she, her pronouns. I'm a white woman with dark blonde hair, blue eyes, and I'm wearing glasses. June 24th, 2022. A woman's right to make decisions about her body and her life choices was taken away by the United States Supreme Court via the Dobbs v. Jackson Women's Health Organization decision. This landmark decision held that the right to an abortion is no longer protected by the United States Constitution. It was midday on a Friday, and I got the text from a friend that said, "We need to go to the Supreme Court." I was walking my dog and everything froze. I was at a loss as I quickly scanned the news feeds. I couldn't do anything but get myself to the Supreme Court and do some yelling with the thousands of people who were at a loss with me behind the Capitol fences in Washington, D.C. At the time of the Dobbs v. Jackson Supreme Court decision in June of 2022, I was working in a mid-level administrative role at a national theater. Artistic leadership of the theater communicated to senior staff that they were devastated by the Supreme Court decision and wanted to make a theater piece about choices women make. The senior staff was composed of only 8 of the over 100 people that worked in the organization at that time. Word got out about a plan for a show, and I was personally disheartened that there was no statement from leadership or human resources to the staff to acknowledge the current state of things, and instead a performance was being planned. The show was put into action by August of 2022 and premiered that October, with 18 performances leading up to the midterm elections. The nationwide reach of this project was impressive, and I do not wish to diminish the importance and success of the show. I was disappointed that artistic leadership took it upon themselves to produce a show in response to a national human rights issue. It did not take any time to acknowledge the staff made of over 60% women in a time when fundamental human rights had been taken away from women. This run of 18 performances was added in to an already planned season and was not cheap or budgeted for in the annual budget. The money was there to produce a show out of the blue. The money could have been there to support the staff in the many ways this paper and presentation addresses. My thesis states, nonprofit arts organizations need proactive policies and resources to support and protect women to retain, value, and promote women working in the arts. For the purpose of this study, a woman or female is defined as someone who identifies as a woman or female and/or can get pregnant and would need reproductive care. This does not negate the multiple identities a body can hold and recognizes that the fluidity and intersectionality of every individual is vast. Support and retention of women working in the arts takes conscious work, and organizations can focus on how they communicate as an institution to the staff, board, and community. When considering the human experience in a working environment, arts organizations should make sure that everyone not only feels welcome but supported to exercise their skills and apply their expertise. This begins with internal dialogue and opportunities to hold space, not only in times of change and crisis, but also in daily practices. The important internal work that leaves lasting change is on display in a shining example at Pacific Northwest Ballet, also known as PNB, in Seattle, Washington. I spoke to Lily Piggott, who is the annual fund manager, and she says that leadership has shown personal support and care of individual employees that has shown a level of care and human connection that went farther than any blanket statement could. Here's what else she has to say.
But I think that PNB does like a really, really good job of valuing everybody's opinions and like listening to everyone's concerns, especially our executive director. I think that she has like pretty much an open door policy. Like if you have any concerns about anything happening in the organization, you can always go and talk to her, and she is always open to hearing those suggestions and like listening to those suggestions. Last year, when there were all those shootings in Atlanta, my executive director like specifically emailed me and was like, "I've been thinking about you, and I hope that you're okay. Like, I hope that you can like take some time off to like for your mental health and stuff." And like she specifically emailed that to me, which I think was really nice.
Though it is not required for nonprofit arts organizations to take a public stand on social justice and political movements, the past several years, 2016 to 2023, have demonstrated to patrons and donors how impactful it is when a beloved organization makes a public statement, shows support for its staff, and commits to making long-term changes. One example is on display here by Dance Place, a medium-sized performing arts venue in Washington, D.C. They announced the closures on social media and set out-of-office emails for their organization so everyone gets the opportunity to take the time needed to reset and take care of themselves. This shift in operational structure reflects a more people-centered environment and can easily be adopted by other organizations. Alternate Roots, an organization in Atlanta, Georgia, had many board and staff challenges until they established a personnel committee of the board. This committee is built of volunteer, board, and staff members, and the charge is to navigate personnel issues, mitigate harm, equalize voice, and the structure forces power dynamics to be diminished. With the successful establishment of this committee, they were able to develop a critical response process that held an open dialogue. This gave the organization opportunities to have safe spaces for conversation and provided a direct place for staff to address their concerns. The board and staff were then able to listen and communicate, and informed choices were made throughout the organization. It is on the board of directors and executive leadership to invest in internal structure shifts that will serve not only the staff, but the organization at large. Investing in the people goes beyond the paycheck, but arts organizations need to look at pay structures as well. Gender pay equity continues to be a problem for women working in the United States, according to the Institute for Women's Policy Research, and is evident in the arts as well. Gender pay equity also disproportionately affects women of color. Arts organizations need to commit to the investment in salary raises to retain, value, and promote women working in the arts. According to a study by the National Endowment for the Arts, a portion of gender pay inequalities have been attributed to the lack of women in executive leadership roles. However, other data shows that women are in leadership roles and are still making less than men. According to Pacific Northwest Ballet's financial statements from 2019 and 2020, Executive Director Ellen Walker made on average 42% less than her male counterpart Peter Bolt, the artistic director. Hiring women at salaries commensurate with their experience in the field and with the men that work for the same company is key to not only valuing but also promoting women working in the arts. In addition to pay equity, it is also necessary to examine the health benefits offered and the costs shouldered by employers and employees when continuing the retention of staff. Not all organizations will be required to provide health insurance based on their size, but by including this in the staff benefits, the organizations will be able to show they value their staff and may have longer retention. Uninsured women often have inadequate access to care, get a lower standard of care when they are in the health system, and have poorer health outcomes. A health and life insurance expert, Robin Townsend, says that insurers charge more based on gender due to health risks because of more frequent doctor visits and more complex medical procedures like pregnancy. Though organizations cannot fully financially support employees with the complex issues of health insurance, by offering comprehensive insurance benefits to staff, organizations show support and investment in the entire individual. Nonprofit arts organizations need proactive policies and resources to support and protect women, to retain, value, and promote women working in the arts. This takes institutional courage to change, so women are represented and treated equitably at all levels of employment. Retention of incredible arts administrators through changes to workplace policies and the treatment and pay of women is possible through open communication within the organization, changes to internal organization structure and policies, and gender pay equity. Women are essential to the nonprofit arts world. Safe and welcoming conditions for the workplace must be met in order to retain women in the arts. Lawmakers of this nation keep trying to diminish the existence of women, as bills are continuously proposed to take away liberties and attack freedom of expression. The arts are where humans can dig into the difficult topics and find solutions through artistic expression. Passionate arts administrators are vital to this work. Women bring exciting perspectives and inimitable talent to the field of arts administration. There is no excuse for pay inequity and poor institutional support to stand in the way of a woman's success in this career field anymore. Women belong in the arts. Pictured here and in the slide before are a few of the many incredible women leading in this field. It is the task of arts administrators to make it happen with meaningful dialogue and structural changes to better invest in women so they are valued and respected as leaders in the world. Thank you.